Welcome to Native Report. I'm Stacy Thunder. What do young people really wish their communities could provide for them? And what tangible steps can we take together to make those happen? That was the focus of the American Indian Youth Summit at Mille.
We have elders, we have community leaders, we have parents and friends. We're all here to try to make a difference.
Here at the Indian Youth Summit, a historic gathering of youth, elders, and leaders from 8 reservations, the work began with making Indian tacos, at least symbolically.
You can't say, hey, you're a fry bread, get over here. No. What you got to do is you got to go up to other youth and you got to say, do you need me? You know, show them what's on your back and say, do you need me? You know, and if they're taco meat and you're a fry bread, you'll probably say, yeah, we need you here.
By lining up in front of the adult that has their sign, if they're the fry breads, well, we know that we're inclined to get in line with people we know and we're comfortable with. You know, they don't realize what a setup that's going to be in it. Actually, they get divided out into another group.
I like the part where we went and how to become an Indian taco, where we put things on our backs and we had to go find all the ingredients, and then that was our group for the rest of the sessions.
In their newly formed small groups, the youth get down to discussing the first item on the agenda, their communities as they see them today. The plan for this agenda and this summit came from a leadership program that is just a few years old.
It just started shortly about 6 years ago when Dr. Kathleen Annette, who was on the board of trustees for Blandon, spoke to Jim Creel about the Blandon Community Leadership Program and expanding it, making it a Blandon Reservation Community Leadership Program. And that started in 2001, and since then there have been 5 cohorts. And I was part of the second cohort. And then there was a request to establish an American Indian Advisory Board, and it started out with Kathy Annette and myself, and then it expanded to 8 people. And one of those members are Judy Hanks, who is a member of Leech Lake but works for Mille, came to Blandon and talked about doing a youth summit here at Mille. Well, then Jim Creel from Blandon said, you know, how about doing something statewide for Indian youth?
We were talking about how can we take the skills from the Blandon alumni and utilize those to work with our youth and mentor them. And so I brought up the idea that we had thrown out with Melanie and discussed, and right away Blandon said, wow, that would be powerful to bring in our, our alumni to work with Native youth throughout the state. And that was the beginning, and then Melanie extended an invitation.
All of our work starts with our mission, and we really do go to our mission every day at the foundation, which is to strengthen communities in rural Minnesota, especially our home communities. So when we focus on strengthening communities, we look at all communities.
The Mille Band of Ojibwe, with Chief Executive Melanie Benjamin, partnered with the Blandon Foundation to host the summit.
What we have done is to have asked the alumni to act as facilitators at our tables. So we've organized the summit so that at each table we have 6 youth and 2 alumni who are facilitating and recording their ideas and interacting with them, so we have an intergenerational kind of system going on. And that process then is meant to bring the ideas of our young people forth and make sure that they aren't lost. But it really is the job of the facilitator to hear and listen to our young people rather than to be the spokespersons for them.
I think what's the most important thing is the adults placing themselves in a role where they're really listening to kids and hearing what kids have to say. And I think just by putting ourselves in that role, it's important. And I think in our communities, we emphasize elders and teachers and teachings. And I think what's happened along the way is somehow we stop listening to our youth, who are equally as important as our elders.
The groups talked to their individual facilitators. The facilitators made lists of responses. Slowly, these lists of perceptions, hopes, and dreams, suggestions and priorities began to fill the wall of the conference room. And from them, a vision began to emerge for the potential of their communities.
Okay, school incentives. Incentives for being at school. Are there others that you want to get on this list? Yes.
What I see is that with those leaders or potential leaders, they're now getting permission from others to step up and be leaders and go back and do things in their community. Hearing stories of the background of a lot of the presenters, and their lives are similar, and how they have instituted change either through the leadership or just through life experiences or education, and that they see now that they can do it too.
Well, I would like to see the youth walk away with the empowerment to know that the things that they do in their communities are important and that they do have a say, that they don't have to live in a community where there's no hope for the future, that they can control the destiny of their communities, that they can make an impact, so knowing that they can become educated, they can do whatever they want in life and still live in their communities and be able to thrive and be successful like kids in any other community.
I would say there's probably 3 outcomes. One is that every one of us here is touched in some way, and each one of us finds something that we can embrace in ourselves and in each other to move forward, and remember that we all share the same passion for youth and for the hope of our communities. I think the second outcome would be is that there are some key action plans, that there are some things that people can go home and work on in their communities, and that can be worked on across communities. And then I think the third hopeful outcome would be is that this event is so good that we'll be doing something like this again next year.
Very good. We've got a program to make it better.